Well, I wanted to show you this again so you know where I'm coming from. This is the third tape. This is my dad, real King Edward VIII. That's my Uncle George VI, Elizabeth's father, that helped steal the crown illegally and take down his own brother and kidnap me in 1939. Anyway, this morning, for example, when I walked over, and this place would look reasonably nice. I get a breakfast in the morning that's always been okay, or I wouldn't get food hardly. I've been made to beg and do without clothes, without anything, shampoos, soap, baths over the years. And anyway, I walked across, and it made me, when the man said that, I didn't get the gist right at the moment, but then I did when I thought about it. He said to me, he was standing there, and I know a lot of people come to here. It's on the interstate and everything. And over the year I've been here, I've met a few of them that stayed a week or two. For whatever reason, they had to lay over. But this man was out front, and when I started to go in to eat breakfast this morning, about 7 o'clock, out of the blue, he started talking to me. He wasn't being rude, and when I started in the door, he was being friendly, and not very many people are friendly with me, because the people around here and Huntsville, Alabama, the media, the people, the law enforcement, in Atlanta, Georgia, all know what's been done to me. And mind control scares them, and the fact that law enforcement is in on it, and the agencies that are doing this, well, law enforcement's afraid of them because they can get stuff on them, and they will find something. But I'm not sure law enforcement's hands were clean anyway, your state and your local. So anyway, I won't dwell on that. What he said, this man this morning, he said, I would help you, but I'd lose my job if I did. And I just kind of laughed it off, and I said, well, thanks for the thought anyway, and I went through the door. And he came in and stood across from me, and hi, and that's about it. It was just friendly, where most people aren't. And he left. And I started thinking, because there was a gentleman here, and I'm not telling who they work for, but somebody had told him to at least, it was Christmas. And I, quite frankly, probably couldn't have paid my rent. Probably is a joke, I couldn't have. And I didn't tell him, but he did come to the door, and well, he had talked to me at breakfast one morning before he left, and he gave me a gift of enough bucks, a few bucks that helped me with my rent. I know that some years ago, a state trooper in Tennessee pulled over a guy, 18-wheeler, and he couldn't, well, he did break the law of 18-wheeler, but the deal was that the guy either come up here and help me with a few bucks, or he wouldn't get his truck back. So the guy showed up here on the mountain from Tennessee, and I remember he bought me a pizza, and he gave me $30, but he did give me a tent, which I didn't have, a Mountain Hardware, and it was a nice one. And nobody can understand how thankful I was to get it, to have a place to crawl into, to keep the snakes off of me, and have a place to just crawl into and keep the rain off of me and cold. But he gave it to me, and that was the deal to get his truck back out of impound. So the law enforcement, granted, I always thought law enforcement was to help you. In my case, it seems like everybody, they had to be either forced when they did help me to a degree, or they had something on them that helped go against me and hurt me and kill me if they were told to. It's shocking the things that people have been told to do to me, break the law, and because the law is telling them to do it, they won't be prosecuted. Now, I don't know where God fits into it, because just about all of them, I can assure you, are good Christians or have a religion that does, what is it that they don't understand. But given the choice, they'll break the law and enjoy it. So I was thinking about the man this morning, young man, when he said that, and I thought going back in time, when I first started finding out about my jobs being blocked, I was doing the book, and the FBI had gotten a letter from them, and I'll just take, for example, right about that time, I couldn't get jobs anymore. I thought it was because of the book, Medical Malpractice, book on mind control and the doctors. Later I found out it's who I am, and my kidnapping was the reason all of it was happening. But I can remember a couple of times there, this would be 79, that two different people told me that one was given I won't mention that, yeah, I will too, Norrell, I believe. They don't even exist, I don't suppose, anymore. But she was given a franchise or whatever. She had moved in next to me in Laurelwood. And I had interviewed at her personnel agency about that time because I couldn't get jobs anymore, and I had pretty good skills. I'd always worked for doctors in junior accounting or secretarial, receptionist, all that. And I'd worked for attorneys a few times, and then later the district attorney, but I typed 73 words a minute with 3 errors, so back then that was pretty darn good. But anyway, I had gone into her agency, and she ends up moving next door to me, odd enough in itself. And she actually told me, she said that, and I'm living in Marietta, Georgia, and she said that someone in, I believe she said Birmingham, had, if she would help block my jobs, that they bought her the franchise, whatever that entailed. But I'm just using that as an example because this is what's gone on with places I lived. They go in and they get stuff on them, and some of them, like the Jewish man here that on the affordable end, they didn't have to buy him out or get something on him. First of all, you can cause, he was more than happy to do it because of my name, who I am. But you can go in and rather than, they had toilets stopped up, they had things that I guess were sabotaged to a degree, and instead of righting the wrong, they went after me. It was much easier just to break the law against me, get rid of me, which entail chemicals that are enough to kill anybody, and end up your brain process also. Alzheimer's is not good to be force-fed chemicals for all these years. And then it makes you sound, it doesn't make you sound nuts. This is what they've used. Everybody, I've always had stuff on me. I carried the Hustler magazine where Larry Flint endorsed me and wrote in the article, a very nice article that I knew who was responsible for his shooting in Lawrenceville. So people, I had the letter from the FBI for a long time. That didn't do any good either. When the law doesn't work for you, then, well, I won't use the word for it, but that's what they've done to me, and especially when I'm the monarch and I've been kidnapped and brought over here, it's like a joke to them. So in other words, here's one more example. I've been living on the Appalachian Trail in Troutville, Roanoke, and walking up and down, and the law enforcement agriculture department rangers would come in and move me or lock me up. But that coincided with the Oklahoma City bombing, the Waco. So you have to know the patterns that the mind control murders were done in to follow what they've done with me. It's the database, the timeline, the names, dates, and like that involved in it. So now that if I don't lose you, I'm walking up the side of the mountain. So the agencies, all of them, have been used to torture the hell out of me. But I'm walking up from Roanoke, and it's a hard, hot, and the cold, and the sleet, and the snow, but this was hot more than one summer, and it's spring, summer, fall. And I'm coming up, and I'm praying. I know there's one spot with a backpack on me, and I would try